Action, action, action when it comes down to manifestation. Is it required, and how exactly do I intend? Sometimes action is required. The difference between forced action, forcing the 3D, inner intention, or outer intention, which is conscious or inspired action. There is so much confusing information, in my opinion, around this topic. So let's get started with today's video. Hello everyone, my name is Nea, and on this channel we talk about effortless and fast manifestation, quantum physics applied to the law of assumption, and so much more. And on Patreon, we do reiterate and make extra videos around this. And in fact, today I'm going to post a video on Patreon about the blank state again, but how to produce the blank state without having to meditate, which is going to be super interesting. The link is down below. But let's get started with today's topic, which is about action, and action in regards to manifestation. I got our board again because you guys love and adore it. I call it Jimmy the board because I love to give names to objects. Anyway, if we need it, we're definitely going to use it. So, as you guys know, I am not a firm believer in taking actions when it comes down to manifestation. In this sense, I highly agree with Neville Goddard when he's saying that every action is indeed delusionment when it comes down to being what you want to be and therefore experiencing that reality. However, what do I mean by action, and what do I mean by unnecessary action? The unnecessary action that is not required, in my humble opinion, because remember guys, that you create your own reality and you determine the rules. So if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine, and you should carve your own formula and your own method. Obviously, all my knowledge comes from my personal experience and the experiences of my friends and clients. Just always remember that you are your own guru, and you come to this video just to learn, entertain yourself, and to expand your consciousness. Okay, so in my opinion, what is forced action, let's call it this way, forced action is the action that it's pretty much inner intention. Now, if you guys are new to the concept of inner intention, you can watch my other videos and latest videos where I talk about inner intention and outer intention. I promise I'm gonna make a video just addressing that specific topic for the library of my channel. However, forced action is essentially inner intention, meaning, in other words, the logical steps to get from point A to point B. Now, it's not necessarily always wrong, but when it comes down to strict manifestation, is not necessarily required. You don't necessarily have to apply your logical mind to know every step of the way to get you from point A, the point of desire, to the point of your outcome. You could logically thinking about a particular strategy to get you from point A to point B. However, when you function with forced action, you have to always remind yourself that you're functioning on a 3D perspective. Therefore, you're trying to change the mirror. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't really, because the more you observe reality as it is and try to force it and change it with the present circumstances, most likely you are focused on the unwanted and you're trying to logically think about all the ways to change something that is already being manifested. Now, inner intention, therefore, a little bit of forced actions once in a while could be okay, but I don't necessarily will suggest this route when it comes down especially to effortless manifestation. So since we don't want to focus on the unwanted circumstance, let's not focus on forced action whatsoever. So what you should do then, just sit your bum, can you say that, on the sofa and not do anything and just affirm. Potentially you could do that. However, my suggestion is to always combine affirmation with a little bit of daydreaming, not even forced visualization, but natural, fun, effortless daydreaming, because that helps your mind to accept whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, because accepting your desires as a present reality is essential to manifestation. Because if the mind doesn't accept a desire, it's very difficult that it's going to push it out in a fast way. You could do it with repetition, but the more you will repeat, the more the mind will accept it. So the two concepts are together. And actually, I do have a dedicated video about acceptance that I highly suggest you to watch. But to remain on the topic of this video, so what type of action I am talking about, and I'm going to give you practical example both for money and for SP or romantic relationship of what do I intend as conscious action. Conscious action, let's write it down. You can even write down the note, because scientifically it is proven that if you watch a video and you write down notes, the knowledge sticks to you a lot more, I think 90% more. So conscious action, or actually called even inspired action. I used to use the terminology inspired action. However, I noticed that sometimes it gives off the wrong vibe, because many times we interpret inspired action as to be emotional reaction. They're not. Inspired means in spirit, meaning I am aligned to my self-concept. I am aligned to who I'm claiming to be. Therefore, I think the terminology conscious action is much more appropriate to hit the target for this video. So conscious action is in complete alignment with outer intention. Briefly, if you don't know what outer intentions are, outer intentions is what manifest is essentially you having the resoluteness of having something rather than desiring, needing, and wanting. Outer intention is completely away from not only desire, but I will say putting anything up on a pedestal of necessity, of need. You have zero importance, or you lower your level of importance. And outer intention can be expressed in a metaphor as you manifesting as effortlessly as going and checking your email every day on your computer. It's an effortless action. You expect those emails in your box, in your mailbox, and you just do it. That's what outer intentions are all about. Again, follow my other videos to understand a little bit more. So what about conscious actions then? What conscious action practically mean? Conscious action look very much like this. It's very much what people talk about when they talk about self-concept. However, I think the entire topic of self-concept is not properly explained for the majority of the time on YouTube, because it's very much focused on affirming, but never applying that self-concept. And remember, knowledge that is not applied just remains philosophy. Knowledge that it is applied becomes experience. So we want to apply our knowledge, not just affirm for it and then acting in a completely different way. Conscious action is not, it's not about logically thinking what is going to get me and all the movement that will get me from point A to point B. Conscious action is about becoming the person that already has the desire, already has the manifestation. Conscious action is living from the end, is living the wish fulfilled. Meaning, in other words, let's be practical. Two examples. Let's talk about money first, and then let's talk about SP and love and relationships, okay? So what happens is, majority of the time that you are inspired, let's put it this way, to do some forced action is because you feel separate from your desire. It's as simple as that. Sorry, I'm very simple in my teachings. You feel separate from your desire, and because you feel a desire, therefore a separation between, let's say, you and the money. It doesn't work this anymore. You and the money, you decide to take some action that you think will deliver you the money. Most of the time is whether it is creating a business, which is not a bad idea in and of itself, but you try, or you believe that money could only come from a specific source of income. You don't open yourself to other sources of income in your life and stuff like that. When you feel separate from your desire, usually you're more drawn to use forced action. But when you don't feel separate from your desire and you feel that you have what you want, you don't feel separate from your desire. But how does that again translate in conscious action? When it comes down to money, think about this very example that I experimented on my skin. I used to be bankrupt a couple of years ago, and I used to have like beyond like lower than zero money on my bank account. I was very poor. I didn't even had a job. I was just concluding my music career, which didn't left me with a lot of money, and I didn't know how to get money, and I kind of resented luxurious life. I was very much alternative. I was judgmental towards people that wear the fashionable brand, even though I desired a little bit of that life myself. I never wanted to go to luxury places. I was, again, very judgmental of it, and I was so separate from abundance that I didn't even allow myself to walk in certain streets in my town because I was just pushing it away. Now, obviously, if I would have started doing affirmation coming from that standpoint, that wouldn't have necessarily worked, because my self-concept and my belief system, maybe it would have worked a tiny bit, but I would doubt that it would have hardened in effect in the way that it did when I realized conscious action. Let's put it this way. So essentially, if I'm not even allowing myself to be around certain individuals that are making money, if I am judging people that are successful, if I am judging luxury, I am giving energy to the unwanted. I am literally saying, I don't want this abundance in my life, because everyone is you, and the mirror reality has to mirror back to you your state of being. So when I wanted to become rich and more abundant, first and foremost, I accepted that maybe I could have failed, but however, I accepted my desire. I accepted that, no, I can go to luxury places, and I deserve and I'm worthy of walking in those streets where all the luxury brands are. I deserve to enter those shops, and I am valuable enough to have and allowed myself to have that kind of lifestyle. I don't have to push it away or auto self-sabotage it necessarily. So the way I started was just by thinking those thoughts. So obviously, conscious actions always starts from thoughts, always, because your thoughts produce, your action obviously produce a state of being. So you start with thoughts, then I started to take conscious actions that led me to feelings, and led me to feeling that the abundance. So thoughts, conscious action, and feelings. The feelings is not an emotion, is feeling it real, that you are living that experience. And so the first thing that I did in order to generate not just a tiny bit of abundance here and there, which I already generated just with thought, I started to say, you know what, I want to take it to the next level. I really want to be rich. And instead of avoiding me walking down a certain street in Milano where all the luxury brands are and where all the VIP and celebrities go to shopping and things like that, I walked those streets even though I couldn't afford it, and I didn't even have a credit card at that time because my bank didn't even want to give me a credit card. So I just walked those streets and I looked at the stores and I said, I can afford it. I am rich. I am worthy of being here with other people that are rich as me, and I can walk the streets. And so every day I used to walk those streets near those luxury brands and look at the shops, even though I wasn't entering yet those shops, but I removed the separation between me and that abundance. And so I allowed myself to walk those streets with courage and with confidence in myself. Then another thing that I did, I started to just take coffees in luxurious places because I could afford at least a coffee in those places. I started to go for a tiny bit of drink or one coffee in expensive hotels just because I wanted to surround myself with certain energies and certain individuals. I didn't really have to go bankrupt. I didn't have to spend all my money, but I wanted to allow myself to feel less separate from that particular lifestyle. I wanted to meet certain kind of people that had certain energy. I wanted to see the way they reacted, respond to life, the way they were thinking, and this already was changing my reality drastically. drastically because I started to have more abundance coming my way from different sources of income. I started meeting amazing people. I felt more confident about myself. And the last step that I did in terms of conscious action, because obviously all this conscious action created a natural feeling of me really starting to believing a little bit more that I was able to manifest this abundance and I was able to keep it, because that was my state of mind at that time. And then I started entering those shops. I started entering Cartier. I started entering Roberto Cavalli, Versace. And even if I didn't have the money yet to buy those items, I will try them anyway. Because the sales assistant don't really know whether you have money or you're a potential client or not. So I will fiercely go there as if I was rich. I was trying all those expensive clothes, feeling rich within my body. And then I will say, like any rich person will do, that's not my style, no thank you, not for today, and I will walk out with no shame. And I did this a couple of times, because if I have the money to buy everything that I want, I also have the right to not feel intimidated by the shops, and I also have the right to say, no, I don't want it, I don't like anything today, no thank you. And that gave me so much more power. Now, conscious action is not necessarily required, and it's not the action of itself that will generate the abundance, but it's the state of mind. Conscious action are like techniques, are a way to generate naturally and effortlessly that state of mind, and also to do, I would say, shadow work, or more facing your fear, facing the lion so it just disappears. So facing the fear of me being intimidated, not accepted in those luxury places. And it's funny because not only I had the money to buy all the jewelry that I wanted in Cartier, but in all of the collection from Roberto Cavalli, now I give it so much for granted that I became one of the best costumer for some of those shops, and they text me all the time, come and see the collection. We're going to save clothes for you if you want it. They invite me to events, and I'm like, you know what, if I want to, I'll go. Otherwise, if I don't want to buy it, I just don't. I don't care anymore. That's why it hardened in my reality. It's like checking the email in the morning. It feels like a natural part of my life to being able to afford those sort of items, those sort of vacations, those sort of apartments when I'm traveling, first class if I want to, the lounge in airports if I want to, premium credit cards. It's my life because I did this. I took these conscious actions. Now, let's talk about conscious actions and how do they look, in my opinion, when it comes down to love, SP, or any sort of relationships. Even if you want to attract or actually experience great love in your life, in your existing relationships perhaps, or attracting a new partner. Attracting is not really my favorite word, however, whatever type of love you want to experience. Remember that the mirror will always show who you are in a way or another. And with the mirror, I'm meaning the mirror reality. So it's pointless for you to take forced action in regards to a specific person or in regards to your love life, like going out and seeking for a partner and trying to put yourself out there in desperate ways, or not even in desperate ways, just seeking for a partner, because you're trying to tweak the mirror, putting makeup on the mirror, but never changing yourself. So what do you want is the first question. Do you want just sexual life? Great, you can. Do you want a committed relationship? Do you want marriage? Do you want kids? Whatever it is, just state it and write it down, because it's very important to be clear with yourself about what you want in a relationship and how a relationship really makes you feel on the inside. I feel many people are still too stuck into manifesting appearance of a person. You can, and you totally is a part of it, or manifesting certain trait quality that the partner has. You can, and absolutely you should also write those things down. But it's very important to have a healthy relationship and with an holistic approach to also consider the way we feel with our partners and the way we feel on a day-to-day basis when we think about relationship, because that also manifests, and it is very important to harden reality into fact. So when it comes down to relationship, and especially committed relationship, In conscious action, many people are observing the SP, the specific person, or the absence of an ideal partner in their life, and they are trying to get someone to change, conform, or to show them their love and care, which obviously creates tons of excess potential. But the point is that no person, let's see, this is a person that you desire. This is an SP. See, nice SP. Okay. No person can sit on a pedestal and be the center of your world. Because even when you are going to be in a relationship, if you create a relationship coming from a standpoint where the person is the center of your, so when we are placing someone as the center of our world, we are really going to magnetize very dysfunctional relationship, because it goes with the mirror has to show to you. If you put someone at the center of your world and no one else, even in an obsessive way, the mirror has to show to you that you're not the priority and that you are second choice. And then even when you are attracting an SP, even if you succeed in it, they will not harden it a fact, because eventually they will show you what you are assuming, that you are indeed second best, and that is because of your conscious action. But instead, what is a committed relationship look like, and what does it mean? Who should you put in the center? You should put yourself in the center, which doesn't mean in a narcissistic way, but when you are in a healthy, committed relationship, your entire focus is not dependent on a person, because obviously you love for a person to be a team player in a relationship. You love their support, their attention, but your emotional state doesn't vary according to how they behave towards you. You are at the center of your screen, and the center of your screen is formed by your passions, by your life purpose, by your friends, self-love, self-care, hobbies, and then also love. So you are at the center of all this beautiful world. You don't put anything up on a pedestal. You are up on the pedestal. You are at the center, and this is your reality. So conscious action, when it comes down to relationship, is yet again, you want to commit a relationship. It is pointless for you to go and ask someone, you need to commit to me, if you are not committing to yourself. You can affirm all day long, I am the priority, but are you really the priority to yourself? Because the mirror is eventually going to show you who you are. It's just, you can't really go around this, is the way the mirror reality works. So you can affirm all day long, but if you really want to commit a relationship, you need to start being committed to yourself. Do some acts of self-love, like do you have hobbies? Do you have passions? Do you focus on your career? Do you focus on your purpose? Do you have time to self-care? Do you have time for your friends? Are you building a life experience that is joyful? And on top of it, many times I see this pattern most of the time, that you want something from someone, but you never ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table to this person? Why a person should commit to you? Do you love your flaws? Do you love yourself? Do you love your life? What type of subject do you bring to the table when it comes down to conversations? And if you think you're amazing and you bring so many amazing things, just cultivate those amazing things within yourself and start becoming first best in this sense, and become your own best friend. This is an energy that magnetizes everyone around you, because everyone wants to be around confident, yet confident, I will say, in a healthy way, people that love themselves, people that are inspiring, people that bring different topics to the table. Are you a people pleaser? If you feel the necessity to please others, why? What are the belief system around that? So conscious action is not about, I'm inspired to text and I'm going to text and force things so this person is going to commit to me, or I am going to do some logical step that manipulate this person to be with me all the time. It's more about becoming becoming the version of you that is already in a committed relationship. And first, you need to check the relationship that you have with self. First and foremost, it's just the way it is. And let's talk about marriage, for instance, and let's talk about kids. You want marriage, you want marriage, you want marriage, but what is your state of mind? Are you becoming wifey? Are you a wife? What are you bringing to the table? What is the state of your house? Now, that doesn't mean in a patronizing way, but I mean, if you are wanting to step in the role of a wife, what are you providing to a man or to a man? Are you cleaning your own house? Is your house tidy and safe and warm to be around? Are you giving support? Are you a team player in a relationship? Are you listening to your partner? Are you communicating effectively? Are you educating yourself on healthy relationships? What else? Are you becoming a wife in your mind? And it has nothing to do with a specific person in and of itself or the specific person asking you to marry, but it has to do with your observation, your focused attention, and your state of mind of becoming the wife. Do you want kids? Visualize, affirm. That's all great because it works. However, the extra step in conscious action that you could take, do you have pets? Why don't you become a mother to your pets? Do your friends have children? Be more around children and nurture them. Are you nurturing your friends? Are you engaging yourself in activities, maybe perhaps with children, because you expect to become a mother and therefore you want to be around children, because there are many ways to be a mother in this world. By doing this, you lower the importance of a particular manifestation to unfold. You become and observe the reality that you want because you're living that reality from within. You're not trying to force and change the mirror, but you're only changing yourself, which will result not only in effortless manifestation, but it will result the mirror to show back to you the way you treat yourself and what you are assuming and asserting about yourself. So it's very different from inner intentions, is very different from forced action, is conscious action. You're conscious of your thoughts, feelings, and state of mind. And I want to give and live this video with an example in love, but she also manifested, this friend of mine, an amazing career for herself. And the way she manifested this, she never affirmed, she only daydreamed about her ideal partner, and she only daydreamed about her job and a luxurious lifestyle. And this friend of mine, in matters of only 2 months, even faster than that in certain extent, she manifested a new amazing job in a luxury brand that she loves and adore. And because she was making herself the priority, she was eating healthy, she wasn't getting wasted anymore, she wasn't going around seeking for anybody, she was only focusing on what she wanted through the daydream. So seeing those lights, seeing those visualizations that made her feel good, it made her even in faith and hopeful. But she was more working on glowing from the inside, doing her hair done, doing acts of self-care, training, exercising, creating a body that she loves and adore, creating a lifestyle that she loves and adore, having peace of mind with herself so she could love herself more. And what that translated into, it's not only so many specific people coming back to her, like I saw her like one after the other, but on top of that, she recently manifested an ideal guy that is completely different from her ex-partner, is very, very handsome, looks like Prince Charming, that has, money, takes her out on vacations, prioritize on her, treats her nice, is charming, is educated. And she just texted me the other day and she was like, I want to cry. You changed my life with your advice, because it is possible. You are worthy of being first best. You are worthy of Prince Charming. There are amazing guys out there and there are amazing girls out there. You are worthy of luxury. You are worthy of all the money. You are worthy of your desire, but you need to allow yourself to feel them. You need to allow them to enter your consciousness and stop feeling separated from those things that you want. And it is also done through your conscious actions, okay? So I really hope that this video hits home for you guys and makes it easier for you to understand the difference between forced action and inspired or conscious action. And the rest, you just let it unfold. You don't have to do anything else apart from changing your consciousness. I love you guys. Remember that all my e-courses and also how to manifest a specific person are listed down below, and I see you very soon on this channel. I love you guys. Bye.